Good afternoon, everyone. Mike here, founder of Magnus Box, coming at you today with a December Q&A. It is the end of the year, everyone. Hallelujah, we made it. I'm joined today with my co-host, Seth Byrne. How you doing today, Seth?
I'm doing well. Thanks, Mike.
Let me turn this music down a little bit here. I thought I adjusted it properly. There we go. So everything's going well, staying healthy?
It's funny you ask. I'm actually recovering from a sinus infection or just a really bad head cold. I'm not sure which one it is. Maybe a combination of both. So my voice is a little bit deeper. Not that I'm complaining about that bit, but I definitely am looking forward to not having a box of Kleenexes by my bedside and getting through the day without coughing up a lung. But other than that, mentally, I'm doing well and everything like that. But my like I said, physical, just a small, little. It's just been, keeping it interesting as well. I couldn't go the entire month of December without having us, just being healthy. So, how are you?
Doing well. I'm ready for the holiday weekend here. I'm ready for Christmas and all that fun that entails, and looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to taking a few days off from support tickets. Hint, hint, partners. But in all seriousness, when we're closed for the holidays or whatnot, we do still have emergency support available just by emailing support@magnusbox.com. And we do prioritize those in after hours or when we're closed for holiday. So, man, we have a lot. So just to do some quick notes here is that we are live through StreamYard today. If you'd like to join in on the chat and ask us questions, doesn't have to be backup related, can be MSP related questions or what program Seth likes to code in. You can ask us, and we are giving away a $50 Amazon gift card for the Christmas holiday. So, and Seth, you cannot win it, so don't try submitting questions.
What if I have someone like a partner, say, Eric, for example, submit questions on my behalf, and the deal is that we split said gift card? Does that still count?
I mean, if it's Eric, though, it's got to be Eric. So hopefully he's watching today. So yeah, we got some topics to cover today. We actually have a notes today. So I wasn't as prepared last time as I am this time. So Seth did all the hard work for me this time.
I didn't do much. I think it was all Kelsey, honestly. I asked Kelsey for a list of topics. She gave them to me, and then I forwarded them to you. So whether or not I take credit for that, who's to say? But I didn't do a whole lot of work.
Gotcha. Yeah. So it all works out. It's all a team effort here. Let's see here. So 2022 end of year review. We kind of go through this every year. Usually I end up doing a solo video, kind of a state of Magnus Box, type of thing. But I figure we just, merge it into our live stream. So we have our year-end stats for Magnus Box. And I'd say those stats are pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was overall a good year. Obviously some ups and downs, but I think every business and more broadly, every person kind of goes through that throughout the year. So it's nice to look back and see that we did make progress and that some of the lows aren't overshadowing the progress that we did make.
Yeah, and so one of the biggest stats that we have is that we gained over 1,000 devices since the beginning of this year. So in the last 12 months, we've added 1,000 new devices to our platform, which is huge. We did not reach our end year goal, though. I think currently we are at roughly 4,600 devices right now. Our goal was, I want to say it was 5,500, Seth?
I'm checking right now. We had a goal of, 5,500.
So, we're 900 devices, a little short, but you know what? We went for an ambitious goal last time. Usually we only do 1,000 device goal for the year, but I think we increased it up to 2,500 or 2,000. We were being ambitious this last year, and so we tried the best that we could with the help of our partners to add the number of devices. So it's a huge milestone adding 1,000 devices.
Yeah, and on a similar tone, we've added a lot of data. That's partly obviously existing partners that are contributing to that as backups continue to complete, but also new partners adding, coming on board and adding new devices and adding more data. And I think we had over almost 1,000 terabytes of data added over the last year. Is that right? Sound about right?
Yeah. So a whole petabyte. Well, a whole petabyte of data. So Kelsey was just mentioning that we went from 3,558 devices to almost 4,600 devices. So it's pretty solid stats.
Yeah.
But yeah, 1 petabyte of data, it's quite a bit. And so we also added Office 365 backup this year, which has been a huge add-on. It was more popular than we thought it was going to be. So we have quite a few partners. I think one of them I saw had over, for one client, they had about 100 Office 365 mailboxes being backed up.
Yeah, some of those tenants get pretty big. So glad to see that their partners are utilizing the backup and helping to protect the data that's stored in those mailboxes and SharePoints and Teams files.
One of the most common questions I get for Office 365 backup is, does it have to be all or nothing? And the answer is no. You can pick and choose which devices or which mailboxes you want to back up. If you just want to back up, all the upper management mailboxes and their SharePoint and Outlook, all that fun stuff, OneDrive, that's one I was forgetting. You can pick and choose. If your client has employees that don't do any work on a computer and they just have mail, you don't have to back up their mailbox. So it helps save you money as well.
Yeah, the interface for that is really sleek. I like it's pretty simple too. You just click a checkbox. You don't have to worry about tracking down the mailbox ID or like the SharePoint ID. It's just kind of all populated within the dialog. I was helping a partner yesterday. It was Monday. Sorry, losing track of days. Monday set up an Office 365 backup, and it's also very helpful that it can be done through the web dashboard or the endpoint interface. Having kind of that duality of options just helps both with the initial configuration. If you're on site, it's easy to do it through the endpoint, but also with management. If a mailbox is added to one of the clients' Office 365, it's easy to go in the web dashboard and just add that new mailbox in, as opposed to having to remote in or go on site again. So it's really, I think it's a pretty robust feature, and it was, pretty thorough in its implementation in terms of having access on both ends of the Magnus Box.
Exactly. And I mean, I like the fact that with Office 365 backup, you can back that up to a local drive, or you can back it up to our Magnus Box cloud network. And what's really cool is you can grab a single individual item from within those backups and either restore it to the desktop, or you can restore it back to Microsoft's Office 365 servers. So definitely a nice feature. You don't have to do any workarounds. It just works. And I know I use it here personally on my own personal email as well. So.
Mm-hmm.
So what else we got here this year, Seth, that we did?
We did expand our storage offerings, specifically the locations, as well as storage. But the thing that stood out to me, one of the big ones, was Canada. I know since I've been here, it seems like we've always had interest in a Canadian data center to comply with their data storage and protection laws. So it was great to finally launch that and to have that offering for our partners. I remember there was a ticket that came in a week or two ago where they're looking to move data to Canada. So I think overall a really good fit for our platform and our partner base. And we also launched in Australia, I believe, as well, if memory serves correct.
Yep, Sydney.
Right. Yep, Sydney. That's right.
Which was great because we have so many partners in New Zealand and Australia, and their data was being pushed back here to the States, and the latency was just killing their backup speeds. I mean, it was horrific. And so in full transparency, we don't own that data or we don't own the data centers that it's being pushed to. We partnered up with Wasabi to use their Canada and their Sydney, Australia storage vault locations, because we were planning on building our own storage clusters in Canada, but there's a lot of work that goes into that, finding a data center, getting across the border, especially with COVID and everything going on. It just made more sense to partner with someone who already had the infrastructure over there. And so that's been a nice addition, and it's definitely helped out. It's a lot faster. So,
have you ever been to Canada or Australia in person, Mike?
I have not, but I definitely want to go to New Zealand here in the next year or two to finally go and meet the people over at Comet. That's one of my goals in the next 2 years, is to go over there so I can, I want to have some of that beer that they have over there.
Yeah, I feel like it's a crime for me not to go to Canada. It's so close to where I live in terms of geography. I got to go at least once, I feel like, because I'm pretty close. I was talking to Matt about that, actually, and he said he was talking to someone down where he's studying abroad, and they're like, "What, you haven't gone to Canada yet? You live right next to it." So he makes a good point. I will try to put that on my list of foreign destinations within the next year or two.
Yeah, definitely. It's on my list to do too. So I mean, it's so close. I mean, it's like an hour drive from us to get to Canada.
I think so. Yeah. So if any partners or Kelsey, anyone has any recommendations of things to see in Canada, the only thing I'm really familiar with is Quebec. I don't really know what there is to see there exactly. So if you're looking to entertain me with a itinerary or must see list, I'm all ears.
We may have to make it a business trip to go visit some of our Canadian partners.
That'd be fun.
We can write it off. Don't tell the government. Tax breaks, right? Expenses.
Exactly. Gotta use what you can.
So another feature that we have now is that we are now integrated fully into Synology, with a little caveat that you still got to manually update the version on it because Synology is a beast. It is. I mean, we tried developing for 6 to 8 months on it, and their platform is definitely interesting from a coding aspect, from a programming aspect. And the fact that they won't give you a phone call back unless you have 50,000 active users. So with having 250 MSPs, might be a while before we get there.
Yeah, they're a big company, so I can't fault them too much for setting their eyes on like their horizon type thing. It just makes like you said, the mobility and agility of that company, it's a little bit harder to work with them is all. But that's okay. Like you said, we have the SPK now, and that can be downloaded directly from the web dashboard. So it's really beats, I think, in my mind, the Linux installation, which is kind of still a fallback if for whatever reason the package doesn't install. I got a ticket recently where the package was having trouble installing. So we can always fall back on that sort of command line Linux install. But the SPK, when it works so much better, I think, in terms of getting things set up, less problems, less complexity. So really happy we added that as well.
Even upgrading it manually, because like I said, they don't like any remote code execution going on a Synology NAS device. So even upgrading, it's not too difficult. You just uninstall the current or the old outdated package, download the updated SPK, run it on the machine again, and then sometimes you have to put the credentials back in. It should have them stored there. But I mean, if that's the worst case scenario, it'll just pick back up where it left off and just hit the ground running. And so it's not even an issue because I just did it to mine. So I take a lot of pictures, and I have a Synology device at the data center. Actually, it's sitting on top of the Nexus cluster, a little tiny Synology box, and I actually have the Synology app on my phone. Can't remember the name of it though. It's gosh, it's gonna bother me now until I find it.
Disk Manager, Synology. Yeah.
It's basically the photo one. Oh, it's Photos Mobile. And so what it does on my iPhone is it will automatically back up all my photos to the Synology device, and then I have that being backed up to Magnus Box. And so what's really cool though is they have this AI within the Synology, and it can identify people's faces, and I can tag them, and so I can then later search for anyone based on either location, who it is in the picture. It's really cool what it can do, but I do take a lot of screenshots, so I have to go through and clean up my pictures every now and then. I take a lot of screenshots and send them to everyone through Facebook Messenger.
In Slack. You send us a lot of screenshots in Slack too.
95% of them are memes. And we love memes. If you have a meme, we love them.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of AI, quick tangent. I know you posted on Facebook the Chat GPT, but in terms of like the facial recognition, it'll only get better, I'm sure, with as the Chat GPT has demonstrated. I was playing around with it a little bit last night with my parents. Just having a little bit of fun asking it, what are some of the things we asked it? Oh, I described my brother, like his personality, his physical appearance, and I asked it to guess his name. It didn't guess it correctly, unfortunately, but it gave me a list of names. It would have been kind of cool if it guessed it correctly, but I don't know. It's fun to play around with.
It's so much fun. So can you see it on the screen there, Seth?
I see that you're presenting something, but it's not quite, it hasn't quite loaded for some reason.
Technology.
Yeah.
Wow.
Unless you're just trying to highlight the logo, in which case it looks really, really good, nice and sharp, nice and prominent.
Oh, I was trying to.
I can see it.
Yeah. Oh well, it was worth a shot. So basically, what was cool though was we posted on Facebook the other day. I just said, hey, I want you to write a Facebook article or a website article for telling how Magnus Box is the best backup software for managed service providers. And I was like, there's no way this thing's going to do a great job. And we posted it to our Facebook page, and it was actually surprisingly accurate and scary. I mean, I even tried to have fun with it, and I was like, "Hey, can you compare us to another vendor?" And it's like, "Sorry, that's unethical." And I was like, "Dang, it's not ethics."
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I used it to write some code last night. I was working on a function and I couldn't solve a problem. So I was like, "Hey, can I talk to you about this problem?" And it's like, "Sure." So I described the problem, what I was trying to do, and it's like, "Oh, this might be helpful," and it was. It pointed me in the right direction. I didn't copy and paste it directly, but the fact that it was able to conceptualize the problem and propose at least a way to approach the problem was pretty impressive. And so, at the very least, if nothing else, it will be helpful in helping brainstorm ideas and such.
I think it's going to be helpful for a lot of people and a lot of businesses because, some businesses are not fortunate enough to have someone dedicated to marketing and managing our channel. Kelsey, who's hiding in the background of this video, handling our chat, as always. So I appreciate that, Kelsey. You're always hiding in the corner of the shadows or the shadows. But it's kind of nice because a business owner that is a small business that is struggling, they can tell this chat bot or this I think it's called Chat GPT.
Yeah.
You can say, "Hey, please write me an article on why people like flowers or why a florist can help the community," and it will write a full coherent article within like 30 seconds. And it's definitely something that can be used for different things. I also asked it to write a welcome letter for hiring staff. I mean, that it always gives you a little heads up saying, "Hey, make sure you consult an attorney." But it's definitely a tool that can definitely be used to help smaller companies that are struggling or that need this. So MSPs, if you're listening, or if you're looking for an article for your business, just ask it to write. We'll pick on Barry. We'll say, write a article as to why I think Easy IT can help you in the event of a ransomware attack. And it is actually pretty coherent.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see it play out over the next year or two in terms of like the ethical considerations, how it can be used, and sort of the copyright, plagiarism. There's a host of issues beyond what it can do. I know, for example, I think I posted in the company group chat that Stack Overflow, a prominent programming forum, has banned its use actually because it generates answers that are so plausibly correct. Even if they are incorrect, it's tricky to catch them. Like, it takes someone who's actually really proficient in that language or in that technology to run and test the code or the answer that it submitted. And that takes a lot of time, but like you said, it takes 30 seconds to generate the response. So there's a mismatch, right, in terms of the production versus the validation costs. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out over the next year or two in terms of all those issues that surround it.
Definitely, the ethics are a huge thing. I feel like you mentioned that. Who owns the copyright? If Chat GPT writes something, is it owned by the person who said, "Hey, write this for me," or is it owned by Chat GPT? And is it going to become a problem for plagiarism? How is this going to affect the industry? I mean, where do the ethics come in? And so it's like kind of like this game that I've been playing called Detroit Become Human, and it kind of follows ethics. I had to bring games into this at some point, Seth. Come on. It's about androids who are trying to get their freedom, and so it's the same thing. Like, where does the ethics lie in that?
Yeah. So an interesting topic to follow for sure, but I don't think it's immediately. The answers will take time to materialize and kind of mature, I'm sure.
It was scary though. I did ask it to write the code for Connect 4 and to build a game, and it started printing out Java, and it gave me the full code on building a Connect 4 game. And I was like,
Nice.
That is crazy.
Yep. Yeah, it's very impressive for sure.
It is. So we had a few more things happen this year. So something that I want to talk about is that we launched our storage. We launched Magnus Box Akira, which is our newest storage cluster that is fully owned and operated by Magnus Box. It was about a $55,000 investment that we put back into the company, and we built a 1.5 petabyte storage cluster, and we started continuing our progress to migrating data off of the Texas data center. 2020, was it 2020 or 2021, Seth?
What's the question?
Why we were leaving Texas? I think it was from the 2021. Yeah,
I believe so.
last year we had some issues with the data center, and the trust just became broken. And so we started the process of building our own storage clusters internally. And we found, after our proof of concept storage cluster, which was Nexus, we found that we can build our storage clusters to be faster, more affordable, and we can do it ourselves internally, because when there's something wrong, we have to be the ones to fix it with our vendors and partners that we utilize. And so we put a large investment into Akira. We are just moving over the last 80 terabytes as of right now to Akira from the Texas data center. I believe it was Defiant is the one that we're moving from. And so I'm hoping to have that finished up here in about a week or two. I'm adding a new node tonight. I'm actually adding 12 more hard drives to Akira tonight, just to make sure that we keep below our utilization levels, so that way we don't have issues like Texas had.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get that project wrapped up before the first of the year.
Yeah, and so I'm waiting for one final piece to come in. It's just there was a short supply on these PCI Express SSDs that I need to handle all the journaling. But it's ready to go. It's all plugged in, and once we have that moved off there and moved out of Texas, we'll be good to go. We'll just keep managing it. And if we add more storage clusters in the future that we fully own, that's a great question for the future. I mean, I'm all for bringing all of our data in-house 100%. It's just that at this point in the growth of our company, we're adding more data faster than what we can build.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I do appreciate all of our partners who helped us out this year with the guidance, input, insight into the best methodologies. You know, we switched from using Cat6 cables over to DAC cables, and so it was definitely helping with the latency. So a lot of help, and I appreciate the community always willing to help us in our Facebook group when we have questions or want to ask what direction you think we should go. I mean, we are partner driven, and we do take that feedback into consideration when we make decisions here at Magnus Box, which is why our partners are called partners and not clients. You know, it's a mutual relationship. Each of us benefits in some way or another.
Yeah, I was looking at the comments of I think Kelsey had posted like asking partners what they wanted us to do for 2023 or what they would hope to see in Magnus Box in the future. So it looked like there's a lot of engagement on that post, and I look forward to talking about it at our yearly, kind of planning meeting in January.
Yeah, and, it was one of those things where it was finally time to push out a post saying, "Hey, what do you hate about us?" And that's always an uncomfortable question to ask, but it's a good question. If you don't ask that question, what do you hate about us? And we can't fix it. I mean, there's some things we can't fix, which is pricing. We get it that, we don't compete on price. We compete on the level of service, and our team has done amazing. I mean, over this last year, we were fortunate enough to be able to add Luke to our team, and he is just slaying those tickets when they come in. Luke and Seth have been just going crazy on tickets when they come in.
We try. A lot of it goes to Luke, though. Luke's doing a lot of it.
Yeah.
Speaking of doing well in support, though, that kind of leads into another milestone, which was how we build up reputation and get feedback on the product with an external source. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we made an investment again. We continue to invest into Magnus Box to keep us relevant. So one of the things that we did is we invested into G2, which is an online review platform. It aggregates reviews. And so we did a lot of incentivized reviews. So we reached out to our partners, and we were giving out Amazon gift cards like crazy. We unfortunately had to stop that because we found that bots were abusing our G2 link. So we filtered out all the bad reviews that weren't legitimate, that just wanted free money. Instead, we're now donating $10 for every review to the Girls Who Code Foundation. So we're working on updating our review link. That's at the bottom of every one of our support tickets. Every one of our support tickets, we have a "How did we do?" and we actually read all those reviews. And we talk about it at our weekly meetings, and it's been huge in telling us where we sit within the community. What can we do better? What are we not? What are we doing great at? So it's I think as of today, right now, we have a 4.8 average review score with 59 total reviews.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
It is. And I think we also have a partner who did a video review for us. That was amazing. We appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know we were hunting around for a while. So it's good to have that video review on the site now.
And it's very easy to find that G2 page. Just go to just Google Magnus Box G2, should be the first one that pops up. We currently have 59 reviews, 4.8 stars, and give us the good and the bad. We're not perfect. We're going to make mistakes. And if anyone can tell you they're going to be perfect, then they're lying to you.
Kelsey mentioned that we just reached the mid-market level on G2, which is a good, a really nice accomplishment. And hopefully we continue to grow in that regard.
Oh yeah, we got to a new tier. That was pretty exciting. We got to the mid-market level. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so G2 reviews have been helpful. We're going to be continuing with G2 this year. As far as conferences go, we did a lot of conferences. We did 2 conferences this year. Let me rephrase. We did TechCon Unplugged in September, and then Seth got shipped over to Texas, which was fun. Well, it was fun for me shipping him. And he went to the ASMC conference, the Apple Service Conference, and so that was a lot of feedback we got. So this year we're looking at partnering up with a few more entities this year for conferences, so we can get out and meet everyone.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun at the Apple one. If you think about it from like a percentage perspective, we did what 200% more conferences this year than last. a few conferences instead of one. So if you really wanted to make it sound impressive, you could say that, but that's obviously a little bit misleading. But no, it was great to go to a new conference. I went with you to TechCon as well, and that was fun. We got to meet Gradient's team and some of our other MSPs. But it's always nice to meet new people, like you said, and get in new communities, new sort of parts of the industry. So yeah, I'm looking forward to continuing to expand our conference presence, as well as any of the new entities and organizations that we're looking to partner with next year.
I mean, just off the top of my head, I know that we're looking at partnering with Channel Pro, and then we're looking at continuing with TechCon, and we're looking at possibly there's an IT blog one coming out too that I'm interested in. It involves a ship. So if anything, if I can write off going on a vacation that's on a ship and do a few hours of marketing a day, I'm going to take it. And Seth, you don't have to go to that one. It's okay. You can skip that one. It's perfectly fine. You can skip the cruise one.
Sounds about right.
But if there's one thing I've learned about you managed service providers, you IT people, I don't know where you guys put it, but you guys can drink. That's all I got to say to that. I saw you guys at TechCon.
I think it'd be fun to be like a sales rep for some of these for a vendor, because you just go to conferences, and a lot of times the conferences have drinks. So like you said, you do a couple hours of marketing, and then you get a meal that's likely paid for with a ticket, and you get TechCon was an open bar, right? At least for one of the nights. So it's like that's a pretty good deal, And I'm sure you're getting paid too. I imagine you're probably getting paid while on the trip. So it's kind of like the triple trifecta of things that you have.
No, definitely. And I mean, margaritas all the way around, right? Well, at least that's my drink. And then Scott got me hooked up on or Sean got me hooked on what's that, Long Island iced teas? Good gosh.
Never had one of those, but I've heard they're really good, but they're pretty potent from what I hear.
Sean was feeling good. Barry and Sean are feeling good the next day.
So. Yeah, I think my favorite is Tequila Sunrise. That's kind of my go-to.
Yeah, I hear you. I gotta expand the palate a little bit. I've only had a few drinks in my life.
Not me. As soon as I turned 21, started to explore the menu, and I intend to continue exploring said menu.
That's good. So yeah, we have lots of plans for next year. We're going to keep on working to grow. We're going to try to, we're definitely going to be continuing to work on merging our trial and our production systems together. We're going to fix the billing system. That is my pain point, and I'm going to keep saying this nonstop to Seth, even live on stream. We need a new billing system.
Putting me under the gun.
Oh, Seth, look who showed up.
I saw he was in the chat.
He heard the word drinks and showed up. That's what it was.
Yeah, his ears were ringing.
Eric, we missed you, my friend. Fireball and hot cocoa. So we gave him a glass, and he made sure to send us a picture with Fireball, and I don't know if it's hot chocolate or not.
I recently tried Bailey's Irish Cream, which is basically a spiked cream, and hot chocolate, and that was really good. I didn't do a whole lot, but it was subtle enough where it didn't overpower the taste of hot chocolate. So that was pretty good. Had a friend recommend that to me.
I had a recent, I'm an elected official, or well, I'm an appointed official for our township, and I went to a Christmas party, and they were actually giving away vodka infused whipped cream.
That's awesome.
I so wanted to win one, but I went for the Home Depot gift card.
Yeah, that's kind of a dangerous slope. Like if you have vodka whipped cream, I don't know, like you're eating an apple pie and you're like, you know what would make this better? If we had a little bit of alcohol in there. Like
We're gonna have to send all these people watching to AA. I noticed the number of people that showed up gotten potentially higher since we started talking about booze.
Mike, I'd be concerned if MSPs weren't alcoholics. You gotta do something to numb the pain.
I tell you, sometimes we have those few MSP clients that came back from that MSP that failed that I sold to previously, and they've been reasonable, but there's a few times where I went, no, this is why I got out of being an MSP. There's a few times I questioned my sanity. But
I will say, having been on both sides myself as well, it's definitely nicer, I think, B2B, because we work with MSP providers and they're all pretty tech savvy usually, which is nice because I can point them to like a Windows support article or a Windows KB article, and they're not going to be like, what is this? So yeah, it's nice to have those kind of technical conversations without having to worry about what words I'm using.
So the latest MSP ticket that I had, because these guys aren't involved in the MSP side of Magnus Box, which, by the way, before people start emailing hating me, we're not competing with you guys. It was just from the MSP we took back over that I sold to originally back in 2018.
For the record, I advised against it, but you overruled me.
Only 40 devices. But I had a ticket coming the other day. Their Farmville wasn't working.
Their farm build?
Farmville.
Oh, Farmville. It's like an app or something?
It's a game I think it's on Facebook. It's a farming simulator.
I see.
You've never played Farmville?
No.
No,
I don't. I mean, I don't know. My dad really grew up on a farm, and from what he says, it's not fun to simulate. He said it was pretty hard work. So I can't imagine anyone would be like, hey, let's build a simulator for this.
Yeah, a lot of people spend a lot of time on it between that and Candy Crush, but so I gotta be honest, so the managed service side, we throw more higher quality tools at it, Huntress, Synchro. It just kind of, we keep an eye on it, but a lot of it's hands off because we have it running so efficiently, we just check in on it. So but yeah, because I had a partner that got
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I see that since I am hitting on Farmville, I am uncultured, which I suppose is a fair complaint, a fair criticism. I'll do that over break or something over the holiday.
Oh gosh, you're gonna start playing Farmville. You're gonna be drinking. It's gonna go.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a good combination. Drinking, Facebook, and Farmville. What can go wrong?
I mean, hot cocoa with just Serrano was really good, apparently. And then someone has homemade Kahlua for you.
I see that. I keep every time we do a stream, it seems like someone's got some alcohol for me, but you must be drinking it before it gets to me because I never see my share of it.
I don't drink often at all. Heart meds do that to you, so I try not to drink too often. But I'm just going to say that all of our partners are trying to kill you. They're trying to get your liver to fail. That's clearly the object. Because at TechCon, I swear I heard 3 partners say we need to get Seth plastered because they want him to go into liver failure.
Yeah, I mean, it's am I really 20 if am I really in my 20s if I don't have impending liver failure?
Kelsey says she's got the Kahlua, so there you go. We even
see that, yeah.
A local resource. Now we're in moonshine. You can send all booze as long as it's legal to PO Box 329, Merrill, Michigan 48637. Address it to Mike first for sampling for safety.
I'm not a huge fan of moonshine, Eric. I appreciate the gesture, but it's just I don't know, a little bit too strong for me. Or maybe I just haven't had good moonshine before. But one of my friends had a peach moonshine that I tried, which wasn't great, and then he ended up getting really sick on it because he overdid it. So don't have the best image of moonshine. But yeah, I digress.
But so back on the topic a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to say we talked about alcohol for about half the stream at this point.
Half the stream has been talking about booze, and then the numbers went up. So I have to say I like that.
Yeah,
we're just gonna put booze at the top of the next title for our stream. Magnus Box Q&A plus booze sampling by Seth Byrne.
If we ever need to pivot, Mike, we should do like a YouTube channel where we just travel the country and sample different alcohols and beers and that sort of stuff.
Oh, I got it. Magnus Box alcohol. We can have our own IPA.
Yeah, yeah. All the big bands do it, right? Like a Motley Crue, whatever. I think Kiss has their own whiskey or something, so we can just have a Magnus Box mixture. I'm trying to do some sort of alliteration thing. I don't know. MBM.
We'll code it into the backup portal. You log in, you're having a bad day, you just tap that button. Kelsey mails you out some booze.
Yeah, so our goals for 2023, just for the record, so I'm gonna get this straight: integrated billing portal and integrated get me booze.
But no, I seriously, one of my goals for next year is get off of Connect Booster. The Kaseya thing kind of scared me. My billing's now messed up because of it, and I don't know why. They're now saying I didn't pay my invoice, which clearly I did, and they're trying to send me to collections now. So I'm having fun with Kaseya. By the way, we are profitable. We have not had a negative month at Magnus Box since the first month we've been in business, which is just me building out servers. So the whole entire thing with Connect Booster, it worked great. I just feel that we've outgrown them for what they offer us. And I can't say it, but I accidentally hit that button. So,
yeah.
I like Connect Booster. I think they filled a need that we had at the time, but I think it's time for us to grow and try to integrate our systems more in depth and to make it easier.
I know Matt had mentioned possibly some of the advantages of that as well, just streamlining the onboarding process and just the overall unity of the platform. He thought would be a good direction to move. So I think is a good goal for 2023 moving forward.
Mandated autopay. That's all I want. I want required autopay because Connect Booster does not have a way to force autopay. That's my number one problem. I can set it up, but it has to be done after the fact or by the partner, and so that's always been my pain. So,
yeah, I think like you said, there's a lot of enhancements and just sort of overall consistency maybe that we can bring to billing and making sure that things are set up correctly. So yeah, looking forward to it. I always tend to overplan, and it's tricky to realize said goals. But they say aim for the sky. It's better to have ambition, I would say, than to. I'm not sure which is better actually.
Under promise, over deliver. That's how that's why Eric is so successful. No.
Easier said than done.
Yeah, I just got to pick on him. But so. The other thing that we've been working on is I finally finished, Seth, our check MK setup. So we have 267 servers that we monitor and maintain here at Magnus Box, and that is over 5,433 services that we monitor in real time, 24/7. I'm still tweaking it, Seth, because if one of the servers doesn't check in like a nanosecond, it starts to report me that it's down, and so I got to adjust it. But we have full 365 visualization of what's going on in our platform, and I actually built a whole dashboard where I can now monitor our bandwidth usage and all the nodes.
Yeah, I like the interface. I haven't actually logged in myself, but I've seen the updates you've been posting on Facebook, and it's cool that it has those metrics too, like the 5,000 services in real time. That's pretty impressive.
It's really sweet how it can integrate and display everything. It took a while to set up. There's a lot of manual work that goes into Check MK, but I was trying to find something that was, number one, that I could self-host, and two, that wasn't going to break the bank, because a lot of these management platforms, they charge an arm and a leg just to monitor a server. And I'm only looking on the partner servers. I'm only looking for a few key metrics. Is the portal running? Is the memory maxed out? Because that's a lot of the errors we have, is that the memory gets a little wild. And how much bandwidth is being pushed through it. And so it's definitely a nice feature to have for us.
Yeah, you're talking about some of the things that you can monitor, like memory usage and the backup service utility that runs on the server. So yeah, overall, it sounds like a great product, even if it did take a little bit more, work to set up initially to configure. I think in the long term, it'll be good.
Yeah, and it's just because we want to be proactive. When something breaks, we want to be the first to know. We don't like it when it's reactive, where a partner says, "Hey, we're getting an S3 error," and we're like, "Oh crap, there's something down at a vendor." And so this will help us because we're now monitoring for S3 in the logs. So if it sees the word S3 in the logs, it sends the "oh crap" alarm.
Yeah,
So,
it's good to have that that other source of like validation and error checking, I think.
and and I know this is kind of even a nerd thing. It's a geek thing. I'm geeking out here because I've been working on this a long time for the last month. I have individual servers set up within each of the racks. So Nexus and Akira has their own self-hosted check MK server that all the data in the rack pushes to that node within the rack, and then that pushes to the main central node. And so if I need to make any changes, I can make the change to the main node and it pushes it to the sub nodes. And then it's just really cool what you can do. I mean, I can see full metrics. I mean, I can see how warm the power supply is in one of the servers. It's just crazy what I can see, which I don't need to know that, by the way.
That's pretty cool.
If the fire alarm goes off, I'm going to know that first.
Now you just need to get that level of monitoring on your employees, you know? You like get my internal body temperature, like, hey Seth, looks like you have a little bit of cold. At a 99.1, you should, get some rest.
Or Seth, it shows you haven't slept in 48 hours.
Oh, yeah, my sleep. I don't know if you want to track that. That might be kind of wild.
That would be. It might be some interesting metrics. How much Seth works, or how much Seth doesn't sleep. Mike's
is it BAC, blood alcohol content?
In real time, what is Seth's BAC? Does Seth code better with a BAC higher than 0?
I keep telling my roommates that I'm super tempted, like, Friday night there's a certain point where after I've had so much to drink, I'm like, what sounds like a good idea? I should clock in. And I never do, but I think one of these days I'll end up, my willpower I won't have enough willpower to resist, and I'll see how it works. And then I might wake up the next morning and it's like, what did I write? This is awful. Like, this doesn't work at all.
Oh man. So Seth is going for a breathalyzer now after the stream, everyone. We're sending him to the local area.
As long as I don't drive, I mean, I'll be fine.
No, you're good. So we don't drink and code. We don't drink and code just afterwards, because I know some of these MSPs. So, but we have spent 3/4 of our stream talking about booze and how drunk you get, Seth.
Yeah, I saw one of the comments. It was they had recommended that we it was like happy hour with Magnus Box. I don't remember.
Kelsey put that. She put happy hour with Mike and Seth.
Oh, yep. Someone said that we'll have a drive-through or for us or something like that for liquor stores. So yeah, it's becoming part of our brand identity, it would appear.
So back in the day, with Amazon, you can actually buy these buttons from Amazon. It was a little tiny button that it would be programmed to your Wi-Fi, and you can program it to order anything from Amazon. I have a feeling that Eric and Seth might have these buttons that have been discontinued, where you push the button, it automatically adds it to your cart, pays for it in one-click shopping, and sends it to you in 2 days. I have a feeling this is a thing, guys.
I don't have one. No, I try to limit my drinking to the weekends. If I feel like if I start drinking on the weekdays, that's kind of a slippery slope, and it's not long before I start drinking during the day at that point. So I do exhibit self-control. I'll, even if that doesn't sound like I do.
But the final comment I'm going to make about booze is they now have a machine. It's a gadget. It was on all these wish lists for people that are connoisseurs of drinking. You can attach 4 different types of alcohol to it, and it'll actually mix it for you and output it into a glass for you.
That is pretty cool.
Automated bartender, Seth.
I'll have to put it on my Christmas list.
Gotcha. So, is there anything else you think we need to cover today? We've had a lot of great discussion about booze. Eric, you have any plans for 2023 for your business? Eric, doing anything for 2023? What are you changing on us? Launching a new company for your 5th one, or? There's a 10-second lag, so I'm gonna drink this water suspiciously.
Sure. Do you have do you ever experiment with hot chocolate flavors, Mike? Like a peppermint? Do you mix it up around Christmas time, or you just stick with like a traditional regular cocoa?
I'm addicted to hot cocoa bombs right now. So I found out that the local mom and pop store actually make their own hot cocoa bombs, and they sell them. Eric, the question was, what's your plans for 2023? What's your MSP plans for 2023? I don't know about your personal plans. Might be some legal issues there. So we pick on Eric a lot. So Eric's been a long time partner of Magnus Box, and he's always willing to beta test anything we throw at him. But I like, so back to the question, I like anything hot cocoa bombs. I like the white chocolate, dark chocolate. I found out that Big B is coming to Hemlock soon.
So another important question for hot chocolate: whole milk, skim milk, 2%. Or do you use water? Are you a water guy?
You can take the water stuff and you can go pour it out the door.
I was just saying, it better not be water. Like at least some sort of milk. I'm a whole milk guy all the way, so I kind of turn my chin up at skim milk even. But tell me you're using skim milk as opposed to water.
I mean, yeah, exactly. I'm all for the whole milk or 2%. I think McDonald's does 2%, or they do whole. But yeah,
I worked there.
Yeah, what did you say they use?
You can ask for either non-fat or whole.
I'm just gonna say yo. But it can't be watered down. Like if I go to a restaurant, I'll be like, "You have hot chocolate?" They're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Is it use water or milk?" They say water. I'm like, "Never mind. No, we can't do that stuff."
Yeah, yeah. I'm a milk guy all the way. Had a couple, like I said, a couple cups over the last couple weeks. It's good to have on like a cold night. Right before bed, it's nice to have. And I think it helps you sleep, right? There's like tryptophan or something in milk. I should know this. I'm a biochem major. I should know this sort of stuff, but I think it's got some sort of amino acid that helps you go to sleep at night.
So back to the drinking. Kelsey drinks whiskey on the weekends when she writes horror stories with varying success. I believe Kelsey's got a whole entire story series too.
It's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But she had also said that you're drinking your water bottle. You're not actually drinking water. She thinks it's vinegar. I think that's a good guess. I think I'll go with that.
It's a Linus Tech Tips or Linus Tech water bottle. LTTstore.com, people. But as Kelsey says, she's somewhat famous on Reddit, unfortunately. So Eric Kelly's plans are to retire, but they're asking some larger companies to take over their IT oil business. Gotcha. So the question is, which company are you retiring from? Because I know you have multiple. I know you have a graphic design company too. But that sounds like a good plan. Trying to retire next year. My goal is to try to keep growing Magnus Box and to become larger and try to keep offering a premium service to our partners. So that's my goals.
That's always a good goal, I would say.
And to keep Seth here.
I don't plan on leaving. My goal is just to survive the spring semester. That'll be I think one of my hardest semesters of my undergrad career. So if I can get through next semester, I will feel pretty good about graduating, I think. But we'll see. I am kind of anticipating at least failing one of my courses.
You say you're planning on failing one of your courses?
Not planning. I'm anticipating. I don't plan on failing, but I am accepting it as a very possible reality.
I don't think you've ever failed a class.
Not yet. No, knock on wood. But I'm taking some tricky ones. So if anyone knows a physical chemist or a organic chemist, and they're willing to offer some advice, I'm open to hearing said advice.
I think Kelsey said that she believes in you. I think she's saying she could believe you're going to fail. I'm probably twisting that out of context, though. But yeah, I like your goal, Eric. It's a very ambitious goal. One of these times we just got to get you on the live stream. So we need to coordinate that. I've had Barry on here. Maybe we get you and Barry both on here, and that would just be a whole hour of nothing but talking about drinking. But yeah, if Barry has any plans for 2023, I know Barry has been a huge asset to Magnus Box as well. He's one of our moderators, and isn't he a moderator?
I believe so.
I think so. Yeah. So, but no, we appreciate everyone. We pick on Barry and we pick on Eric all the time, but they're okay with it. We know they can handle it. But yeah, I think that's everything I got for today. Is there anything else you want to discuss, Seth?
Nope, I think I'm all set. Yeah, if people want to reach you specifically, Mike, what do they do? Where can they go?
So if you have any complaints, you just have to send an email to that address right there, and then we'll take care of the rest.
Okay, well, hypothetically, let's say I don't check my inbox very often. Where else can they email to get help?
So if you want to get a hold of me personally, you can always email mike@magnusbox.com. If you have support or if you have any questions, feel free to always email support@magnusbox.com. We've had quite a few partners that have been emailing me personally. It's fine if you want to email me. I'm okay with that. But if it's something support related, please, please, please always email support@magnusbox.com first. And you can always CC me in on it as well. Because support goes to the entire Magnus Box team. Everyone handles tickets except Kelsey. And if you need marketing or graphic design questions for your backup server, then you would want to contact Kelsey for branding options. But yeah, and so if you need to give us a call, you can also call us at.
While you're pulling that up, because I don't have it memorized yet, Kelsey I wanted to remind everyone that you can email hello@magnusbox.com for swag requests, anything like that, or questions about where your swag's at, if you wanted to get some Magnus Box swag.
We have lots of Magnus Box swag going on. I think that's all she's been shipping. Once we run out of this swag, though, we're going to be launching version 3 of our swag box.
That's what I heard, that there's a revision in the pipeline.
There is. We added the coffee mug or the hot chocolate mug. So if you want a hot chocolate mug, email hello@magnusbox.com. We'll get you the form so we have your address. Because we found that we don't have a lot of people's addresses. We don't usually use them for anything other than sending swag or random stuff.
I don't know the random stuff.
We have mug boxes now. So the phone number, if you need to get a hold of support, you can call us at 1-888-933-2975. And that goes right to Seth and my own phone number or cell phones. We're going to be adding Luke to that queue very soon. He just isn't aware of it yet. But we're going to probably be moving our phone system here pretty soon because I've had a lot of problems with our phone system. The call quality has just not been good.
Yeah, a lot of times when I'm talking to partners, they say I'm too quiet. So
I'm on the road a lot, and so we use what system do we use for our phone system again?
C3X.
Oh, 3CX.
Something like that. 3CX.
3CX. I think it's time to stop being cheap and get a proper phone system. Barry's gonna be hooking us up probably here, but Eric also says that we can't trust Barry as a moderator, so I trust Barry. So
I think Eric's just jealous.
Eric's jealous because he wants to be a moderator. That's what it is. So, but yeah, we're gonna probably be looking at a new phone system soon. I like what we have. It just needs to ring 3 phone numbers.
Right.
But anyway, if you guys need anything, feel free to message us. Otherwise, we will be back here next month. And for another Q&A session, we're also going to be launching a partner-only get-together through Google Meet. So we're hoping to do that in the next month here. We've had a lot of feedback especially from Barry. We appreciate the suggestion, is we're going to put together a live session, or not a live stream, but we'll invite all the partners that want to join, and we'll just do a giant Google Meet, and maybe we'll do it over lunch, or we'll just talk backup or whatever. So
sounds like fun.
But anyway, you guys have a safe and happy Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from all the team here at Magnus Box. And we'll see you next month.
Take care.